Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. I'm Joanne Lafrac. I'm SITE's Director of Education and Curator of Public Practice. And we're so grateful to have you here in person. This is a new experiment that SITE is doing to be able to do our public programs with actual people in a space. And so we are also live streaming this event. So we do have people joining us on Facebook and on YouTube at this time as well. So we're grateful also to have people joining us virtually as well. So Site Santa Fe, for those of you who don't know, is a contemporary art museum, and we in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and we do public programs that also support culinary artists, in addition to the visual artists that we present in our exhibition. We're now open, and so you can come and see our exhibition. We're very, very safe. We clean the museum in its entirety every hour and 45 minutes. We have timed tickets, so you should feel comfortable coming to the museum. You can sign up online for tickets in advance, so you can reserve your spot. And our exhibition that's up right now is about displacement. And so this particular series was supposed to happen. The show was supposed to start in March, and now it's opened in September. And so we've just pushed all of our programming to now as well. And this series called Digest This focuses on culinary artists who are in our community who are displaced from other locations. So we're really happy to celebrate all of the diversity of the chefs and culinary artists that are here in our community. So this is also sponsored by the New Mexico Humanities Council, and we're grateful that even amongst a pandemic and a show that's been postponed, that they are still supporting our public program series. So thank you so much to the New Mexico Humanities Council. For those of you who are here in person, we request that you wear your masks when you are up from your table and moving around in the space. When you're eating, obviously, you can take your masks off, but just for everybody's safety in a live environment. And so thanks so much to Sazón for partnering with Site Santa Fe on this program. We are really, really pleased to be able to be here. Our next program is on Wednesday, the 30th at Paloma, and that one will be on mezcal and mariachi. So we'll have a mezcal tasting, a dinner. It will be in the evening at 7:45 p.m., and that one will be live streamed too. And then on October 1st, we will be displaced over at the Motorama at the drive-in, and we will feature a lecture by Peter Grendel, who is the general manager of Violet Crown Movies, and he'll be talking about American Technicolor musicals, followed by a screening of Wizard of Oz. So please join us for a movie night on October 1st as well. So we're up and running with lots of public programs. Thank you so much for joining us for this one. So today's program is a really special one. Site Santa Fe has partnered with Chef Fernando Olea many, many times. He's worked with us in 2008. We had a biennial in which the curator brought in an artist, a culinary artist from Mongolia, who collaborated with Chef Fernando on making meals all the way back in 2008, which strangely, now that feels like a really long time ago. And Chef Fernando also did participate in another Digest This program with us when we had a show about the future. He gave a talk on edible insects and presented all of his dishes that included edible insects, and as insects as a protein source for the future. So we're really grateful again to collaborate with Chef Fernando and Sazón. And this time, instead of being in the museum, we're here at Sazón. So Chef Fernando has so many accolades that I had to write some of them down. Usually I just get up and wing it, but just in the past couple of years, he's received numerous awards. So in 2019, last year, the New Mexico Restaurant Association called Chef Fernando the Restaurateur of the Year. This year, in 2020, the National Restaurant Association awarded him the Faces of Diversity Award. The AAA has given Sazón and Chef Fernando a 4-Diamond Award. TripAdvisor has ranked Sazón number 12 in the nation. This is not just in New Mexico or Santa Fe, for fine dining. So we're really, really blessed to have a chef as incredible as Chef Fernando here, right here in Santa Fe. And he will be talking about one of his incredible specialties, mole. And so those people who are live will be able to have a tasting with the mole. And they have mole in jars. For those people who are live streaming, go to sazonsantafe.com if you want to order any of the moles that Chef Fernando is talking about today. So I know you're here to see Chef Fernando instead of me, so I'll pass the mic on to him. And thank you again so much for being here today.
Good afternoon. It's great to have you at Sazón this afternoon, enjoying this beautiful weather and this amazing sky that we have in Santa Fe. Maybe one of our few days outdoors, weather changed so much in October, but let's enjoy it as last, even though with this COVID that we were trying to survive. It's so great to be able to be outdoors, to be with friends, It's great to have you here today. So it's my pleasure always be a part with Site Santa Fe. It's such an active group promoting art through all over the world. And like was mentioned, I have the opportunity to be part of the 7th bicentennial in 2008. And it was a great event. I prepared a couple of dinners with a Mongolian chef. We went to the supermarkets. We communicate amazing. He didn't speak English or Spanish. I didn't speak Mongolian, but we communicate amazing when we were in the kitchen. Anyways, what we have prepared for you today is a little sample of moles. And I started serving moles in Santa Fe close to 20 years. And in the beginning of serving moles, it was so hard to serve moles because many of the guests, when they went at my restaurant at that time called Sazón, Epazote, I'm sorry, across from the Guadalupe Church, many of the guests that they were there and my servers offered mole, they used to shake their head and say, mole, no, I don't want to know nothing about mole. Because I imagine they taste some mole that wasn't good, like any other food, it's good and bad in everything. And after that, something struck me, and what I did was to start sending an amuse bouche with moles, a little slate with a sample of the moles that I have in the day. And from that time on, mole really had flies. So people know me for I even have I record something from the Travel Channel. They did some series of Route 66, and they were in diners and different places, casual, and I was the only place with a white tablecloth. And as a part of that, they make me say that I was the king of the mole, and and made me record that maybe 30 or more times. They made me record that, and when I was recording, I said, "This looks so cheesy. I look so ridiculous." But those guys, they are so professional that when I'm saying I'm the king of moles, go so fast that probably people doesn't see me. So that was great. So no, that was the experience with the moles. My culinary adventure started getting recipes from my family, my mother, rest in peace, my aunt, rest in peace, my sister, grandma. And that was the beginning of my culinary adventure. Wanted to bring the food that I was raised to Santa Fe. And from there, I started creating my own flavors, and we are talking of near 30 years that I've been doing this. And I've been sharing this with the people from Santa Fe and people that visit in Santa Fe, our amazing city. So everybody here lives in Santa Fe. They are Albuquerque, yes. So do we have anybody visiting from out of the state or no? So we're locals. Okay, viva la fiesta! So anyway, and what I have done in this culinary adventure, I have a very rough times, and I remember when the concierge were trying to send guests to my restaurant for a Mexican dinner, and the guest said, "You know what? No, no, no. We don't want Mexican food for dinner. We want to have a nice dinner." And I was just so what do they mean nice dinner? So because I think that people have the idea that Tex-Mex is the Mexican cuisine. And Tex-Mex can be very good, but in any way or matter can be called a cuisine like Mexico is a cuisine. Mexico is one of the most incredible cuisines in the world, you know? So what I did, the way that my slogan in Sazón doesn't say Mexican cuisine, says New World Cuisine. Because I need to be creative, otherwise I won't have customers in the restaurant for dinner to come and eat in Taco Bell. So anyway, so that's a little story of what bring me here at this time. What we prepare for you, like I said, we have some moles, and with the moles we have some proteins with them, and we have 4 moles that they start passing some slates, and I will hold this for a second. I need to run to my kitchen and check a couple things, okay? Okay, I'm here again with you guys. So my staff is already passing some slates with moles. Will you please hold it? I'm going to be talking about each of the moles as you're going to be sampling. And after that, we're going to send you a moles, each of those moles with a protein. Okay? And I will talk how we're going to send it. So if some of you don't eat meats, or you can let your server know, and we will try to substitute some things. Okay? So they should be coming out very fast. How are we doing here in the shade? You have the best place in the house? Yeah? How you doing? It's nice to see you. It's great to have you with us today. Well, so what else are we doing today? Well, let me tell you a little bit about moles. The origin of moles is really unknown. Uh, uh, some theories say that moles were created in Mexico before the Spaniards came to America. The word mole comes from the Nahuatl language, mole. The Nahuatl language is the language that the Aztecs speak. And mole means mixed of ingredients. Many people think that mole is the sauce with chocolate. And like I was mentioning earlier to you, many people think that it's a disgusting sauce. And as you're gonna taste today, mole is nothing but a mix of ingredients. Not necessarily have to have chocolate in order to be mole. So, and we will talk about the ingredients. I'm just waiting for this last table. That is the table of honor. That's what we serve it last. So, so we will talk about the moles, and you will know what is the difference in them. Thank you. Okay, I think that by now everybody have their slate with the moles. So let's start tasting these moles. We're gonna start with the darkest color, the dark brown mole. Without a doubt, this mole is the most representative sauce of the Mexican cuisine. If you try other moles before and they taste a little different of this, all over Mexico we make moles that they look this color. The big difference with this mole is that it's sweet. At the beginning of the bite, it's sweet, and you start enjoying plantains, almonds, cinnamon, chocolate, and other 35 ingredients. Without a doubt, this is one of the most complex sauces in the world. These have three chiles that they are known in Mexico as the Trinity of the chiles because they show all over Mexico. And these chiles are chile pasilla, chile mulato, and chile ancho. You find all over. This particular mole bring me a big memories when I was a kid because we used to travel to Puebla to visit my grandma. I'm originally born in Mexico City and live in Mexico City. And my family brought me to visit my grandma in Puebla. She made this mole, and my cousins and I that we were similar age, when the adults leave the table, we used to put more sugar in this mole. So we were in heaven. This was like candy for us, you know? And that's the mole poblano. The next mole that I would like to sample is the light brown color. This light brown color is a mole that was my gift to Santa Fe and to New Mexico. In 2009, we celebrated in Santa Fe the 400-year anniversary of Santa Fe as the oldest capital in the United States. And I decided to give a mole to Santa Fe and to New Mexico. And this is my gift. It's very fun because when we did a big celebration. If you were here at that time, you probably went to some of the celebrations that we have in commemoration of the 400-year anniversary. And I commit myself to give a class of mole that I didn't have any idea what it would be, the mole. But I was committed to give a class. And a week before the mole, I didn't know what will be the ingredients. I went to Las Cruces. I went for some meeting with the New Mexico Restaurant Association and find out that in that area they have the best pecans. They do an incredible harvest of pecans. And when I found out that in the southern part of New Mexico have pecans, I said, well, I need to have pecans in my mole. That was the first thing that came to my mind. From there, I said, well, you know what? Here around the area, north area of New Mexico, we have piño nuts. I said, piño nuts. Let's put pecans, piño nuts. And it's always, in every dish, it's always a centerpiece. I always think like an orchestra that need to be a conductor, and that's the centerpiece of every dish. And in this case, I have pecans, I have piño nuts, but I didn't have any idea what would be the center, the shining star of my mole. And Tuesday, just before this coming Saturday, I'm supposed to give a class of a mole that I didn't know what it will be. So I have another meeting in Albuquerque that Tuesday. I finished my meeting, and when I was driving back, I stopped in San Felipe, in the casino to put gas. When I was putting gas, I noticed a Native American sitting there with a little box and have some fruit that at that time I didn't know what it was. But in the moment I saw it, I started screaming like a crazy in my car. Ooh, that's it. That's gonna be the one. And but because I'm very dumb, instead of go and buy that fruit from that person, I get in my car as fast as I could, and I drove as fast to Santa Fe, and I went to the farmers market because it was Tuesday. And so something told me, you're gonna find this fruit there. So I went with one of the vendors that I was buy some produce, and bingo, he have a full box of apricots. So there is the start of my show, you know. So I get the apricots, went to the restaurant. I was ready to put my mole, some spices, my apricot, very happy. But the big question was green or red, you know? So green or red. And after a little thinking, I decided to do it red. And the reason of that is because green is an incredible flavor, but it's that flavor that is very jealous. Don't like to share with any other thing, says just by himself. So of course I went with the red that is nice and blend with anything, like whenever. So there it comes. They start bright, they start shine, and it's the beginning of the New Mexican mole. So that's the New Mexican mole. And came Saturday, I give my class, and after that, it's history. You know, it's 10 years, 11 years from that. And my New Mexican mole has been, like you don't imagine how many places, and very, very honored. It's published in different major publications all over the United States. And you know, I'm glad I was able to give this gift to New Mexico, to Santa Fe, and to you guys. The next mole that we're gonna try, the next two moles, they are from the state of Oaxaca. And if somebody have traveled to Mexico and have traveled to Oaxaca, you probably know these moles. And what many people think that moles are only from Oaxaca. You know, people think moles only in Oaxaca are moles, like people think that only tequila is from Jalisco. And neither one of those things is true. You know, we have moles all over Mexico, but Oaxaca is very well known because have 7 regions, and each region have their own mole. As tequila, tequila is the major producer of tequilas in the state of Jalisco, but we produce tequilas in other 5 states. So coming back to the moles, we're gonna start with the mole verde. This mole was created in the area of the lakes, and you will taste it. Even though it's a sauce, it's a fresh sauce, something that you will enjoy in the middle of summer. Main ingredient are lots of different herbs. Have thyme, tarragon, cilantro, epazote, and the main herb that we have in this one is what? Spinach. That's good. Very good. The main flavor in this one is spinach. And you get some acidity in the back of your palate. That's the tomatillos. The little green tomatoes that have a husk. That's the tomatillos. And the chile that I use in this is jalapeno. But it's a fresh, nice mole. The last one that we're gonna have, the name is Coloradito. That means little red. And the red one, the red one in Colorado means red in Spanish, okay? So the next mole is going to be the Coloradito, the last one. And this one is one of those moles that they don't have, it's not too complex, but they still have a very nice flavor. Traditionally, this mole is more spicy than the others. The level of heat of this is a little intense, and I use in this, traditionally we use two chiles. We use one chile guajillo that it looks very similar but more pointy than the New Mexican pads. And the other that we use to add chile is a small chile called chile de árbol. So those are the small chiles. And in this mole, the main ingredients is garlic, 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 and another few ingredients, okay? So a little bit of tomatoes and other herbs and spices. So these are the four moles that we have prepared for you. And with each of these moles, we're going to present it to you with some protein. We have the New Mexican mole. We're going to serve it with one rack of lamb. It goes beautiful. The sweet tones, the peaches bring the sweetness of the lamb. The mole poblano, traditional in Mexico, we serve it with chicken because we use chicken for everyday meals. Here at Sazón and other restaurants that I have in the past, I have an agreement with the Colonel Sanders, and our commitment to each other is they're not gonna make moles as long as I don't use chicken in my kitchen. We've been very, very respectful to each other, for years. For the past 30 years, we've been very respectful to each other. And Colonel Sanders, I understand he passed away, so I hope everybody else honor his word. So like I said, traditionally we do this mole poblano with chicken, and a big celebrations in weddings or something like that, we threw the big chickens, the turkeys. Here at Sazón, I like to serve that mole, and we're gonna serve it to you with a breast of dog, with a dog breast. And I hope you understand me to say dog, because many times my guests think that I'm saying dog. They look at me so strange and say, "Do you serve dog?" No, I mean dog, dog, quack, 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 quack. Okay, so it's gonna be with dog. Uh, uh, the mole Coloradito is gonna be with a little slice of a pork loin. And final but not least, the mole verde is gonna be with a little piece of a halibut. Okay, so that's what we have at this time. If we're in program, please let me know how are we doing. They're gonna start serving food. They're gonna start serving food, and I would like to answer any question that you could have, please. Okay? Yes.
I've got a question, and I think I remember that there's a mole pipián, which is made with pumpkin seeds, I think. And I wondered whether you ever tried that or served it, or whether we'll have the pleasure of tasting it sometime soon.
Okay, I'm glad you mentioned that. Just as she mentioned, pipián. The word pipián comes from pepita. Pepita is sunflower seeds. And we do a different pipiáns. We have server here, and we do it at Sazón. The main component and the main thickener of these pipiáns is pumpkin seeds. And we have different colors. We have pipián blanco, white pipián, we have pipián verde, and we have red pipián. And I imagine there are other many different pipiáns. And the big thing of that mole pipián is that it's thickener out with pumpkin seeds. And yes, we do it. I have done it. Yes. Any other question? Question now or hold your peace forever, okay? Yes.
Do you go back to Mexico often to get spices or ideas or anything like that?
Eh,
Oh, sorry. Hello. Do you go back to Mexico to get more inspiration, or is New Mexico giving you that inspiration, or what is your journey to new creations and that sort of thing?
Yes, I try to do at least one, if I can, 2 trips to Mexico a year. This year I was planning to go to Mexico in April. Unfortunately, with these things that we are living now, everything got been canceled. And yes, I go. But my inspiration has been New Mexico. You know, New Mexico has been my home for the past 30 years, and I've been very fortunate to be inspired. And for the original cuisine that they started serving 30 years ago, that was 100% Mexican, it have evolved. And what I have done in my culinary adventure is to grab flavors of the world that I find and make it part of my Mexican base. Because Mexican cuisine, for the ones that have experience with Mexican cuisine is not that cuisine that live in the past. It's like Mexico, an incredible history, an incredible past, but at the same time, it's avant-garde. And it's always trying and discover new things. Not everything is mariachi. We have a great orchestras, and mariachi have their place, of course. It's amazing. Many people love mariachi. Other people don't because it's too loud. But but we have more than mariachi. And that's the culture, and that reflects in the cuisine.
I was going to ask, it seems as if the moles are like a reduction sauce. It takes a lot of time and patience to essentially get to where you want to be with the actual mole. I'm sure it varies from mole to mole, but how long does it take to just create do this creation from scratch to the final product?
Okay, did everybody hear the question? How long it take to prepare moles? Well, they all depends of the mole. There are some basic moles that to put it together, to ensemble all the ingredients, it don't take more than 20 minutes. And there are others like the mole poblano, that the darkest mole that you have in your slate, that take hour and a half to 2 hours, because some of the ingredients need to be roasted, some of the ingredients need to be fried, some of the ingredients need to be boiled. After that, you need to grind everything together, and that's the preparation. Because the simmering time, no less than 2 hours, and anything between 2 and 6 hours simmering to really round all the flavors. And something that's happened, and it's incredible with most of the Mexican cuisine, that every time that you reheat it, it gets better. You know, there are some food that you eat in the restaurant, take it home to eat it next day in the morning, and you reheat it, and it's, oh, I should have left it in there for garbage. And and you know what? The Mexican flavors, it really get rounded, and you cook it, and you reheat it, and it gets better. It's only get better. Okay, did I answer your question? Great.
Just mole in Oaxaca, and it comes in a kind of a brick, and we bring it back here, and it sits around for a while, and then you're supposed to mix it with some kind of like stock. Any recommendations on the best way to do that, and is that any good?
Yeah, that's what they do, not only in Oaxaca, but you find it in many mercados, through Mexico, that they sell what we know as the pasta. And what they do with mainly most of the dry ingredients, they go to a molino, a mill. They go to a mill and they grind all the ingredients, and they make these pastas that they sell it in small packages. Sometimes you can buy a buckets, and they are great. They are amazing. And all that you need to do is to add some liquid. And what is recommended is like some chicken stock or beef stock or vegetable stock, whatever you prefer. And they really reheat very well. And most of those moles, those pastes that they sell, I think that you can have it without refrigeration over a year. And they hold very well. And the moment that you add the chicken stock or any other thing, the life is shorter than the light and need to be refrigerated.
You started with a moment where mole was unappealing or not very popular, but it seems that at this moment, mole is very popular and people love to eat it. Do you have a sense of, obviously you've been innovating here, but do you have a sense of what's changed to make this be a type of food that people are very interested in and excited to eat?
Yes, you know, they have happened too many things. Mexican cuisine have got a lot of notoriety all over the world in the past 8 years. In the past 8 years, because Mexico was the first country to award in the UNESCO the Mexican cuisine, the recognition of patrimony intangible of the humanity. And that really, really bring notoriety of Mexican cuisine. That was the first thing. The second thing that had happened is that they've been becoming an incredible talented Mexican chefs, that they've been recognized in the top of the 100 chefs all over the world. Just to tell you a little bit of story, I was the president and founder of the Mexican Restaurant Association, United States and Canada. And I'm telling you, this was probably like 12 years ago. And I used to go to Mexico, and and at that time in Mexico, they were the only place that you will find Mexican food was in the markets or with the Mexican natives in the streets or something like that, or at home if your family were a good cooks. But restaurants, I don't know what did they have at that time, or they have for hundreds of years, that they were so excited to serve French, to serve Italian, to serve Peruvian, to serve any types of cuisine, but no Mexican. And I mentioned to you, I used to go to Mexico to meetings, and they tell us, oh, they were so proud of us. You are the ambassadors of the Mexican cuisine and the exterior. We are so proud of you. And I used to laugh to them and look at them and used to tell them, and what are you doing here? People come to Mexico to find Mexico, and you show in other countries. What is wrong with you? And you know, and finally, you know, I'm so glad they wake up, because like I said, those young talented chefs, they have done an incredible job. Nowadays, you travel to Mexico, and the top restaurants, not only in Mexico, but in the world, they are in Mexico City. And it's incredible. And that's what is happening. We get a great time, you know? Any other question? Are we done? Or how are we doing? How are we going?
Fernando.
It's off? The microphone is off?
Okay, it's on now. I'm curious, Fernando, about how, like your personal journey and how you ended up moving from Mexico and ended up here in Santa Fe. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, of course. I moved to Minneapolis, and from Minneapolis, I have a furniture store in Minneapolis, and this furniture store was pine, like the rustic furniture that we have in this area. I opened in Minneapolis. You know what? I didn't know that the only wood that they use there is oak, and pine they use it to burn it. So I have the opportunity. My family have a store 30 years ago, have a store here of furniture, because they are the first manufacturers in Mexico of furniture, the rustic furniture in Puebla. And they used to sell furniture here to Jackalope, and they used to sell furniture to Omar Claiborne in Canyon Road. And we opened a store in Guadalupe at that time called Muebles Rústicos and Mexican Antiques. And that's where I came to Santa Fe. But as all of you know, you don't come to Santa Fe and stay. Santa Fe choose who Santa Fe want to have in and who don't want. You know, people have come to Santa Fe that they are here to stay, and they're gonna show us what to do, the things, how we need to do the things. And you know that they come here, they go back, but with less money. That's the only difference, you know. And Santa Fe really is. We are in the city difference, and we really are different. We are very fortunate, and like I said, the way I see it is not I came here. You know, Santa Fe brought me here, and Santa Fe have embraced me, and it's been an incredible journey to be here. Well, if If we have any other question, I'd be glad to answer. If we don't have more questions, we're gonna start with a dessert. You remember that I mentioned, and I would like everybody to hold till everybody gets served. And my staff, please try to move it as fast as you can, please, because it's gonna melt. So I mentioned to you that Site Santa Fe in 2008 celebrated the 7th bicentennial. They invited a chef from Mongolia, and I wanted to create something that represented that experience that we have. And that experience is what you have on the table that you're gonna sample. I used to call this dessert Mongolian Mousse. And the reason that I call it Mongolian Mousse is because I created for my collaboration with the Mongolian chef. And the flavors in this Mongolian Mousse, I'm not gonna tell you until you try it. Okay? So they're gonna move those as fast as they can. And just hold it for a moment, okay? Please don't start. Don't start. It's very important that you follow everybody. Is everybody in that side being served? Looks like, so it seems like we only missed these 2 tables. They're gonna come and we're gonna finish pretty soon. Okay, this dessert is gonna have a flavor in the front of your palate, very strong flavor. It's gonna be cut by the ice cream. And the ice cream, the creaminess and the temperature will push the other flavors to the back. In the back, you wanna enjoy 2 flavors. And when those 4 flavors that I just mentioned to you start melting in your palate, you're gonna have one last flavor. And to me, it's like a melody, like a symphony of flavors in the palate. That's what I call it, sweet symphony. And by now, everybody is served. Everybody have the dessert? Yes. Okay, go ahead, get the ice cream, get the sauce, and I'm gonna be telling you what are the flavors. In the front of the palate, you're gonna enjoy ginger caramel that is used by the Mongolians. Second flavor is the ice cream. It's an avocado ice cream. In the back of the palate, you're gonna have ginger and piñon nut. And when these 4 flavors start melting, there comes the surprise, jalapeno. Okay, well, enjoy it, keep enjoying it. And I will keep telling you about the other dishes that we're gonna serve you guys.
Okay, I'm just going to conclude things for the folks who are live streaming this program. For those who have joined us digitally, thank you so much for coming. And then just a reminder to all of you, our next program is Wednesday at Paloma, Mezcal and Mariachi. I believe there's 2 4 tops available for that program. So if you want to join us for that, then give Paloma a call. And I look forward to seeing you there. We just announced the drive-in Wizard of Oz, so there's plenty of spots for your car there. And that is at the Motorama. You can contact the Motorama directly if you want to see Wizard of Oz with me as well. Thanks so much, and have a good rest of your day. And so glad that many of you have joined us in person.